Medical entrance exams and controversy. Name a more iconic duo. This time, once again, I guess it's NEET PG. The qualifying percentile just dropped to the 5th percentile earlier this week, and depending on whom you ask, this is either a necessary fix or a disaster waiting to happen. So are we filling seats or lowering the bar? Let's break it down. Here's what happened. The National Board of Examinations decided to lower the NEET PG qualifying percentile across all categories to just the 5th percentile. The idea, fill the seats left empty after multiple rounds of counseling. But not everyone's on board. Some say this is just practical, that it keeps medical colleges running and gives students a second chance. Others worry it's setting a dangerous precedent, weakening the standards of medical education. But before we pick sides, let's address the big question. Does a lower percentile really mean undeserving doctors, or is that an oversimplification? First up, the case for lowering the cutoff. According to Dr. Manish Patil, head of anatomy at R.D. Gardi Medical College in Ujjain, this move isn't as extreme as it sounds. Top scorers have already locked in the best clinical specialties, and what's left are mostly non-clinical fields. So dropping the percentile doesn't mean displacing someone more deserving. It's just filling gaps where students weren't as eager to apply. And then there's the numbers game. India is adding more and more medical colleges, but the infrastructure is not keeping pace. Dr. Pratibha Lakshmi, an associate professor of general medicine, points out that if these seats stay empty, more than just losing potential doctors, we're wasting resources. And with the country's growing demand for healthcare professionals, can we really afford to leave seats vacant? In other words, this might not be a case of lowering the bar, just making sure people actually show up to the classroom. Dr. Abhiniti, who's applying under this new cutoff, says the situation is not that simple. She had to prepare for NEET PG while pregnant, which affected her performance. Does that make me undeserving, she asks. Fair point. But like I said, not everyone's convinced. Critics argue that merit matters and that a 5th percentile cutoff might be a step too far. If getting a seat becomes easier, does that mean we're producing doctors who aren't as prepared for the profession? Because, let's be real, medical school isn't exactly known for being forgiving. You can't just wing it and hope for the best. And then there's the bias against non-clinical branches. Many of these seats go unfilled, and that's not because they're not important. Students keep prioritizing specialties that lead to more lucrative careers. Dr. Bharat Parikh, president of United Doctors Front, UDF Rajasthan, explains that subjects like anatomy are crucial yet often ignored. Lowering the percentile in this case helps keep medical education running. So maybe the real issue isn't about cutoffs, it's how we view different medical fields in the first place. So where does this leave us? On one hand, lowering the percentile fills much needed seats, expands opportunities, and doesn't necessarily mean an unqualified doctor. On the other, it raises legitimate concerns about maintaining standards in one of the most critical professions out there. At the end of the day, does a percentile define a doctor, or is the real test what happens after they enter the profession? What do you think? Is this a practical fix or a risky shortcut? Let us know in the comments, and of course, like, share, and subscribe to EdexLive for more updates. See you in the next one.